everybody, welcome back, I should say, to Third Age Total War Divide and Conquer. And we've had a decent holiday from recording and everything, but I think we're finally situated with 1.1, although I think 1.2 is coming out in no time. But we are committed to this Rivendell campaign, Imladris. I have changed up the roster a lot. I tried to make it a bit more challenging, although I still have forts, so some could say that makes the game easier if you can throw a fort anywhere for about $1,000 and basically have free upkeep. But I've made some other changes to make the game a little bit harder for the elves, because these guys are the best units in the game, really. They're the best overall, I should say. The Eldarinway, their elites are just, oh man, they're like second to none, really. They're better than the Sylvan Elves, or the Elves of the East, I should say. Actually, I shouldn't say that. That's probably my own version. It's, yeah, the Sylvan Elves and even the Sindarin. These Noldor Elves are pretty boss-like. Elrond and his two sons have a unit called, I think, the Noldorin Guard or something like that, and they're just... You can pretty much win the entire campaign just with them, if they're used properly. I think their weakness is like heavy cavalry charges to the flanks, because they are still a missile unit, and I think they still use the mechanic for missile units. But overall, they're pretty badass. They shoot arrows, they keep a shield on their back, and so I've changed up the not the Eldarinway, the Noraturno units to have that same style. And so basically, I gave them, instead of the regular cavalry, they're now similar to the scouts from Lorien. They're horse archers with shields on their back. Still really good. And then the archer unit, I basically used the Lorien model for the Lorien Rangers, which I have the shield on the back, and then they fight shield and sword once they ditch their bow. And as you can see, if you guys can read through the storyline here, if you're interested, but I thought I'd give you that little preamble. This isn't a live commentary. This is a commentary done over the video. I am going to still do a mix of live commentary and after-the-fact commentaries too, in which case I might do time-lapse for the strategy map, and then I will do real-time for the battle. But as you can see, this is kind of how we start. We start with a pretty solid-sized army and everything, a good amount of free upkeep at Imladris, and what I really want to do here is shift south and take Zagala down right away. I want to secure the southern flank. Onward! Because what happens with this campaign a lot is if you leave Zagala, or if you leave Ananenarad, you have to deal with both the Orcs of the Misty Mountain and potentially Dunlin too, if they want to attack you. Will attack from the south, and it just, if you're trying to expand and get a good foundation, it makes it rather difficult. Plus, Zagala is a pretty nice base to have.
Building new defensive
high production value base. Not that I can train many troops out of it. It's a mountain base, so the troop production is extremely slow. It's already extremely slow just to be Elven, but to be in a mountain region makes it very, very slow. But you can't produce troops anywhere else if you don't have money. And so having a high production base in terms of mining revenue and just good trade location, that opens the door to the east, like the Vale of Anduin and the Woodland Realm Elves and the Galadrim down south with Lady Lorien and Celeborn. And so that's kind of the goal, starting right away. I also want to get my diplomats up. I'll probably have 2 to start. I think they changed the diplomat recruiting system a little bit. And so I know I can have 2, But just to end right here, I'm going to shift it right to a time lapse, guys, and we'll get right into our first battle. If you have any questions about some of the strategy I'm using, you can leave it right in the comment section, and I'll get back to you right away. But let me shoot right to a time lapse. It was like listening to an old school video game, like in fast forward. That was hilarious. High pitch. Sorry if that annoys you guys. I'm sure you guys have control over your volume. But as you can see, we are assaulting Oan Hill. Great base to have, even though it has an extremely low population. It is set up as a large city, and so a lot of building availabilities are there, and so as long as you have the funds to enhance its infrastructure, it will be a great producer in the middle game. So as you can see, I'm flanking right with my archers. I see that this is high ground here. I'm going to try to get a shot on some of the bandits inside. The units that they are using to defend are really kind of no match for my guys, but I have a couple different ideas for how I want to go about getting in this place. You could do a number of things. I could shield wall push with my sword Quendi to kind of make a gap so I can get my cavalry into the sides and give them room to use their charge animation. As you can see here, I had to get my archers just a little bit closer. I'll try to keep the battle UI to the minimal, because I think it gives everybody kind of a better view. Is this the only thing that this is missing is the flash. I'm a colorblind guy, I suck with seeing things, and it's nice to just be able to flash your friendly units and enemy units. But especially in the early game where you're only fighting with maybe 3, 4, 5 units rather than a full banner army, this isn't too bad. Watch the arrows go flying in and taking out some bandits, get some kills right away. Now the sword, or the bow Quendi unit, I can't figure out how to change the models. The sword Quendi unit, for its upgraded models, I changed it to the Sentinels of Cairn Andros from Lothlorien, which is a good chainmail model, cool looking shield, like just badass looking compared to, like, there is no upgrade model really for the sword Quendi and bow Quendi, so I was able to change that, but for some reason, whenever I change the model to anything other than the bow Quendi unit, it just is the silver surfers. The straight silver doesn't find the model. Another thing too is, yeah, I can't get rid of the flame arrows for this. All my other archer units, I can get rid of the flame arrows by going in with the descript projectiles and taking that out, but I unfortunately can't do that anymore. But it's cool to relive this battle. And this is, like I said, this isn't a live commentary. This is a commentary after the fact. And what I was thinking in here was that I could get my cavalry in right when the door opens and just zip it around to the left flank. If I remember correctly, that's what I was thinking. But yeah, archers are still face of fire. It was weird. I noticed that even with them up on the wall, it didn't activate their towers to shoot at my archers. lost anybody yet.
Our men have done well.
When they got
The
on the
gates
wall,
have fallen.
my archers out of the tower's range. And I'd rather, like, if you know how I play, I would rather lose my guys in melee fighting than lose my guys against their missile units. I do everything I can to keep their missile units from throwing crap at me. And that works good. I mean, the elves are so good regardless of the situation. They're good in melee, they're good in, you know, missile versus missile. You know, they're pretty good overall. Or I should say they're the best overall. It's just affording their units and having infrastructure to support them. Their high-ass upkeep. So now I had the idea to just run for the square. I don't know why I didn't decide just to fight them here. I was hoping to draw them away from the gate so I could fight them on level ground. See, as they kind of have high ground on me at the gate. And so I hit the stop button. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to charge these guys. I'm going to see if I go to the square. If I can't draw these guys off. And if I remember correctly,
our men have taken control of the city.
Off, I think. In fact, I think all 3 units come running. So I just switched my archers to fire at will, so they just keep shooting at shit. And I do the rally points. So you hold the shift button down, you can do rally points. So I got my guys running around the flank. Archers, when they stop shooting, I'm gonna have them come running in. Just let them shoot. Hit them in the backs as they're running up the hills.
This is the way. Be quick.
I want to prepare my cavalry. I know I'm not going to win by just sitting in that square. I think you have to have like a 3-to-1 population ratio or something like that of your troops to the enemy's troops if they're in the city to actually have the ownership change hands. You can't just have.
We've lost control of the city.
Put people in. Good charge, good charge. We chopped down a lot of them. Now I want to pull out before they stack up all over my cav. My cav will win out, pretty much, in just a straight-on fight. But I'd like to, oh yeah, get the charge effect right at the last second. Very good, very good. We're in there. They're turning around. Surround my cav, but I'm just going to run right out. Cycle charging. Okay, I forgot about my archers. Looks like I think I remember about them now. Yep, there we go. Archers are coming in.
Watch for the enemy.
Alright, my swords are coming in. I just want to set them up so I can get a pincer. You want to set my swords up. They're probably going to come running for the swords. Would be ideal. It's fun fighting with these elves early on. I like these earlier battles, just commanding smaller numbers of units. I've always been a fan of that. If you've watched some of my videos of this mod, I've done like massive unit mods where I do like, you know, 253 units and I just like double or triple the cost of the unit because I'd rather command bigger, units and have fewer of them rather than having a full banner army and having them all like smaller elite units. Because it's so much micromanaging. Okay, he's running for me. They might go just for my archers, which just looks like that's what's going to happen. So now we got to figure out how we want to maneuver our cav. Let's go to the right flank. I love these elven towns.
The battle is very much in our favor. Victory
so cool.
will be ours.
They are so cool. It's kind of just like this town was like abandoned.
Badly bloodied.
It seems logically that we could have just bribed them, just been like, hey, you know, this is kind of our home, and you know, you guys can join up with us if you want. Have your freedom to come in and kill you. But you know, if they're desecrating the place, maybe we're coming to the rescue. Who knows?
Our men have slain the enemy general. Without him, his
I don't know if they're routing or chasing my cav, so I'm just throwing my cav out. Okay, surrounded. My sword Quendi are in a big fight. I just want to keep my cav moving. Try to get that charge animation as much as possible. Which we're not really getting too good. Just gonna turn right back around and head back the other way. Just want to keep hitting guys in the back. Even if you don't get the charge animation, just hit them in the back. And then if you get them, like chase after my cav, which is happening, now my bows are hitting them in the back. My bow just keeps, like, cavalry just sets up such, like, it just annihilates infantry because it gets their attention away. They're like, oh, we better go chase the cavalry because they're obviously causing the most damage per unit. But I can outrun you. So, I mean, if they got that charge, they're able to surround you guys. Got it. We got it. No, we didn't. But we're right behind them. We're selling them back. That's good. That's really good. Just love the Elrond bodyguard model.
Our men
so
have taken control of the city.
Similar bodyguard is the Phallus Lords from Linden, which I wish I could have that spearman unit. That is a freaking cool unit. Some other changes that I made that you guys will see.
Be awed by the victory we have won here
Tulka's
today.
Faithful models. And you're going to see as we progress the progression too. But it's really cool. I'll wait till there's a battle for you guys to see what I changed. But now that we're back in the strategy map, I'll switch back to time lapse. And you guys can mute it if the high-pitched noises are freaking you right out and about. See you in a bit, guys.
Must act.
All right, we're back, eh? That was a quick one. And now, so you're going to see now, guys, the Noldor basically in full effect. This battle was epic. It was so good. Except for the beginning. The beginning was kind of boring because we basically just shot them in the face with all of our arrows. And there's a glitch, basically, which I shouldn't really play to, but because we're so outnumbered, I play to it. But usually I would just surround and kill, like via melee. But because we're so outnumbered and we have more archers than infantry, I just shot them in the face for a while. And even, like, our odds were so against us. I think it was like 3 to 5 in their favor. And so they just had a numerical superiority. Zagala, they get like 10 free Uruk defenders. So basically, I think they almost had a 20 like, full banner just because of the script for defense of garrison. But yeah, you'll see the power of the Dunedain Wardens, which are great to have because we don't really have any anti-cav unit really, or defensive infantry anti-cav unit, so they kind of fill that role, they fill that gap. And they also fill the only unit that has decent upkeep. It's like 150 compared to like all the other elves are like 350 and above. Tulka's Faithful are like 500. They're so expensive to keep on upkeep, free upkeep basis, which sucks because they hide anywhere. You want to just throw them in forests and just throw loads of them in forests, have them ambush, which is cool to do. But instead I have the Noraturno do the ambushing. So I'm kind of debating here. I was kind of figuring out how I want to go about this, what approach. They're running back towards the square and let them up there. Camera angles in this is kind of a pain in the butt, but this is kind of how the game goes. So I'm going to march my guys out and speed her up to 6 times just to get the marching over with. So we want to get right into the fight. And so Lord Elrond, what can we say about Lord Elrond? He isn't full-blooded elf, although he chose elven like life, so he can have the immortal life, I guess. But his parents, one is a human and one is an elf. But he's the most badass for half-elves, that's for sure. I don't know any other half-elf that's cooler than Elrond. Maybe Aragorn's son ends up being pretty cool, because he would technically be half-elf, but I don't know the technicalities of how you choose one or the other when you're either in love with someone of the opposite race, or yeah, it's pretty interesting in Tolkien's lore. I kind of like Dungeons and Dragons version of it. I thought they did a good job with how it works biologically for half elves and full-blooded elves, and how that all works. But as you can see here, yep, just logistically trying to get into position, figure out my strategy as I go. I thought I would lure them into a kill zone, lure them down here, but after, probing them, probing their defense, see if they would chase me out, they ended up not chasing. They used some of their skirmishers, they tried to peck at me, but they protected that square to the last man, and so we got a lot of kills just shooting. Really lowered their numbers. I can't remember exactly how low they got before we attacked via infantry, but you guys will see how well we surrounded them. We fully surrounded their entire army. There really wasn't any gap for them to try to loop around our guys, which is ideal, unless they know to use the shield wall to push a gap through, which is what I always do when I get surrounded. Is I'll use someone. I give all my units the shield wall capability so that they can try to shove their way through and try to make a gap. Because if you can make a gap, then you can start to surround them, or you can at least fight on their flanks, right? So it gives you a slight advantage, even though you open up your flanks to both sides just to make that gap. So you take some casualties just trying to make the gap. Although, I use shield wall all the time, because I feel like with a higher mass, which is what shield wall gives you, they just fight better. They go down slower. And so, yeah. And you can see some logistical things. This is when I was trying to form my plan of luring them down and trying to get them to come down to me. I was using Elrond, which is really the last guy I should be using to probe. I should have used one of his sons with a bow Quendy, but Elrond is the heaviest armored. He's the same unit as his two sons, but he has this Celebrimbor plate upgrade, I think is what it's called, and his unit is just badass. It's just so cool. I want to try to figure out how to ever since the DAC team made it so that the archers on the ground now, put the bow to their bowstring, or put the arrow to their bowstring, and then let fly. When you try to put the model onto a horse, it's freaking weird. It's freaking weird. The bow's all stretched out. It's just like a big glitch, right? And so at this point, I realize they're not coming out of their shell, so I bring up my archers. My two others, and then I eventually
the House of Elrond.
Bring up my bow Quendy too. Spread things out a little bit. But yeah, they're trying to throw stuff at me. I'm shooting them right back. I'm definitely doing a lot more damage to them than they're doing to me. Well, you'll see, this is a good way to gain experience. Just go against a full banner army that's trying to sit there and not do anything. They're pretty much a full banner army. I think it was like 16 or something units in there. Or thereabouts. Maybe 14. So I don't think they had a very big garrison to begin with at Zagala. Or they had moved it out. But I like Elrond's model. Although I can't help but notice that I feel like he looks fat. Like, he looks just like he's a little overweight in this game. His sons look really cool. His sons basically look like, the Elrond version of Glorfindel. And Glorfindel has one of the coolest, bodyguard, not bodyguard, the coolest just model in the game. Like, it's this golden armor that he has, and he's got his bow on his back, and he's got this big, nice looking sword. And he just looks like he's ready to kick some ass, like he's just ready to roll up and do dirty work. And he gets the, if I remember correctly, the Imladris Riders, which is a cavalry unit that's pretty similar in stats to the current bodyguard unit, but it's a lot more. I think it's like 30 or 32 guys in a unit. So you can take a unit of 240 snagga skirmishers all stacked up, like not in loose formation. You could pretty much take down half the unit just from the charge, and probably most times rout them just with the charge itself. If the snaggas just have, like, say, a captain as their leader. If you're going up against like the Witch King or something, they'll pretty much fight to the last man. 10-star general. So yeah, get my archers into position, just having them shoot. If your archers are in the position you want them to be, but they're still trying to move around and try to like really get set, just have them shoot, because they'll shoot once right away, and then in between your first shot and the second shot, they'll get into formation. They'll get kind of where they need to be have good, accurate spacing. Really good accuracy that these elves have. And you'll see that I eventually want to change to Mount Orc Hunters. I knew that if there's one unit that's going to do real damage to, especially my elites, it's the Mount Orc Hunters, just because they have armor piercing and really high attack. They're just one of those specialty units that the Orcs of the Misty Mountains have that are dangerous if you let them get close and fight. I mean, you will still beat them in a one-on-one fight. Say if one unit charged Elrond, he'd beat them, but he'd take casualties. Well, I couldn't tell you how many casualties, but more than any other of the York's units, to my knowledge. The heavy goblins of the Misty Mountains, which are supposedly the elites, just because they're basically just goblins with better armor. These just die easy. For defenders, the average garrison script they get, they die really easy to my elites. So yeah, I'm aiming at the mountain where a lot of crap in the way. These were just shooting and trying to put a path through there.
I serve the House of Elrond.
And these are those situations where you wish you had like the Elder Council from Randall around, just armor-piercing javelins just to throw right into the middle of that, because pretty much every throw would be a kill. You know, you're throwing these heavy-duty javelins. I think they're like 12 missile attack, and they like go through armor too. It's brutal. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what is the best use of all these arrows.
Stand firm.
I know the Boquendi missile attack. I can't remember. I think it's like 8 or 7, something like that, pretty high end. And then the Noldor are 9. And I think like the Hinnidaur of the Woodland Realm are 12, just to give you kind of a balance out. The Hinnidaur are the best archers in the game in terms of archery. Effective at hiding. These Noldor are extremely heavy armor and have high defense skill and high like melee attack too. So they just saw through doors. They saw through, no issue killing whatsoever. But the biggest thing I'd say with my elves or players is to make sure you don't get surrounded. You know, you'll put up a fight if you're surrounded. It's not like you won't kill probably 2-to-1 or 3-to-1, but you lose a lot more. You lose heavy amounts if you get surrounded. Especially if they get up behind you or some javelins at you and stuff like that. Just trying to shift fire every now and again. You'll see that they'll go into loose formation and then back, and they'll run around the circle and just kind of do all sorts of stuff. This is what I say, guys. The beginning of this battle is pretty boring, but as soon as we get engaged in melee, it gets pretty epic watching how they react and surrounding them and just kind of annihilating them. And this will be kind of the biggest battle of this video. For sure, pretty powerful bases. Now, the majority of their bases are extremely powerful. It's just they are not. Shite. And yeah, I wish that I could have done like a leapfrog, like if they chased after me, have one unit kind of hold, or one unit shoots over their shoulders, and just do kind of fire maneuver. So my Boquendi are out of arrows. Elrond is almost out of arrows. The other guys are going to shoot for I think everybody's gained some experience. I don't know if the Boquendi has. They will once we go in. Other experience for Elrond's older son, Elrond. I'm trying to think of his name. I can't remember their names off the top of my head. But they are badass. And I'm going to keep Elrond and his sons together throughout this campaign. I'll probably just have one main army that's used for attacking, and then have everything else dedicated to just supporting or defending what they take. Because while it's cool to keep Elrond and Rivendell, it's
only half the enemy force remains.
Be using him all the time. Of the capital. Other important cities, border cities, are the most important to have together to have a powerful unit to help defend. See how cool that armor is. You can see I threw in Thranduil's units as the officers, changed the ownership in the battles.db, the model battle. So they have some Sylvan officers. Come from the Woodland Realm to back Elrond up in his quest. Tulka's faithful. I put them as an officer.
Must be defended.
A lot of uses. So right behind the Thranduil spear unit, I have the Thranduil sword unit right behind that too. So, and these guys take the same stats as the Noldor Guard, and so they'll be beasts. They'll be even beastlier than. Okay, archery is done. They'll be even beastlier than Thranduil's counterparts, the Arakir units. So yeah, now we're trying to position. And we're gonna get into a surrounding. We want everybody off guard mode because we want to actively surround them, not just hold a square. Because otherwise we will get some defeat. Change my plan as I go. I figure out who I want to go where. I have the Boquendi basically back up the smaller, the middle tier unit of the Noldorin Guard. Elrond's older son. Elrond himself I have go right around to the back. Along with his younger son. And the Sword Quendi I have take the low left flank. And the Dunedain I have shoot out the right flank. And basically, Dunedain Wardens, because they have such a looser formation than tight elven formations, they take up the most space and fill up the most gaps.
I will be your guide.
Charge. Sword. Are now engaging. Lower flank was really kind of like, let's engage and get these guys all facing towards where we originally came from. I originally want Elrond to go in right there, but I'm like, no, let's get her all the way around the back. These guys are going in. I actually shift them even farther now. And for some reason, my Dunedain couldn't shift too much in. At this point, I just said, alright, we're going in. But they do such a good job. I thought they were gonna like stack up in one spot, but they actually, you'll see some of the Dunedain fighting in the opposite corner. Some of the units on the right of the Dunedain, they circle. And you'll see, you'll be like, okay, well, there's still gaps. The way the Dunedain work, see how they're actively trying to surround it. And the same thing with, now when this gap is filled, you see how good the AI is for such a new game. Now, the older guys are going to actively try to fill in this gap. Taking down that officer unit. Trying to keep up. Ready yourselves.
The battle seems to be swinging in our favor. From such tidings does victory emerge.
You'll just watch some guys who are all bloodied up and just go these random save everybody. Oh man. Bloody guy. Look at the dude all the way around the back, filling in that gap. We got one of the officers from Elrond's younger sons, man, who just basically single-handedly is like, nope, you guys aren't going to take this gap. Actively surrounded. It's not even the Dunedain's push, it's the fact that they basically tried to, they're holding their flank, and they're going around and kind of plugging the gaps. And then Elrond's say his older son is really good at the game. You'll see that these smaller units have like 40, 30, 20, and the game experience so fast. But especially with the resistance killers, and by the end of the battle, they're twice as good than when they start. Look at this. Look at the silver unit. Oh, just right in his face. Look at armor piercing. Ooh, what Ooh, and then everybody. Oh, focus faithful. Right in the face. And then off with his head. Wow. That's how you swing a two-handed sword. The spinning hit just obliterates him random sniping.
Our men are in command of the castle.
Oh man, that guy just went down. Sword point, 8 points. Oh, look at that chick. Now, Alice is good. Right in the back. Oh, right in the front. It's so cool to watch this after the fact. I like doing these after the
The enemy are utterly vanquished.
So the elves have won.
This is a great victory, worthy of only the mightiest of generals.
This will help with our infrastructure and our bases that will produce troops faster. Just unbelievable stats. I mean, he killed 600 as a unit that only has 40 soldiers in it to begin with. Like, I can't even imagine, like, swinging a sword that many times. Exhausting. Of course, a lot of those kills.
We must defend these lands. Enter it.
Great base to pick up right away. Obviously, want to get for the artist studios, but I'm going to switch it right back over to the time lapse, guys, and I'll catch you right at the end.
Come, my brother.
Alright, we are back, guys, for another battle. And this one, we are ambushing orcs. It's funny, we landed our army in a, basically we ran out of movement points in a forest. And so our unit basically went to ambush mode, and this army tried to go by us. And I'm looking for a unit of mountain orc hunters, and I can't find them. I remember looking for them because I remember seeing it in the unit stats. And I go up and down their army. I'm like, where the heck are they? Because those are my main target. I want to make sure that when I'm shooting my archery, I'm shooting at that. But I couldn't find them, and so I set my guys up at the end of the line and just shot at them as they came at us, and that worked out really well. I don't know. I can't see him. I didn't see him. Maybe you guys can spot him. But yeah, you look for the flags, right? The other unit has kind of that flag barrier carrier, and the orc, the mountain orc hunters. Maybe they were hiding. I don't know. I don't know how that makes any sense if we were ambushing them. We should all be out in the open. Maybe they were hiding. But I think they show up towards the middle end of the battle. They don't do anything because I think we had enough archers open and available to actually shoot those guys up pretty good. But yeah, I set my Noldor up into gaps, and so if one flank gets advanced on, I can fall one other one back, or I can keep one shooting at the flanks of whoever engages. And this basically is just me taking advantage of the Noldor's high armor stats. And now for the Boquendi, they're a little more vulnerable, so I have them in skirmish mode, and I'll have the Sword Quendi right behind, kind of ready to rock and roll, ready to shoot or engage any infantry that comes in. Dunedain Wardens are also going to be kind of a pillar. I might fall back my other units and have the Spearmen hold. Keeping the pause, trying to figure out what's best to shoot at. Yep, another trip down the line. Trying to see, and at that point you can't see what the unit is. I'm like, where the heck are they? But it's so weird. They end up showing up. I'm like, where did they actually come from? So yeah, now I'm letting her rip. See their maneuver is veering to the right, and I don't know if it's because I have my sword and bow on these stacked on the left, so there's technically a couple more units on the left, but there's a clear shift to the right, and it's not for high ground either. I don't understand. My thoughts is maybe that they're trying to set up a front to face me as a full army, but because my guys are shooting the way they are, we kind of just shot them in the face a little bit. And because they have so many missile units, we just have to kind of shoot them. Missile units are pretty good.
I will be your guide.
The mountain orcs, they stand out. You'll actually see them.
I will be your guide.
I swear they just came out of nowhere. Is my guess. But I'm excited for this series. I love the story of Rivendell, and I love the fake story of making them a freaking massive powerhouse as well. And my goal for this campaign, I don't know about an Elven Civil War, but we definitely want to complete it. I want to be actually able to do the One Ring script.
Be quick.
Yeah, see the fallback. I had time for my guys to stop, and then I shift them right out. That's the cleanest way to fall back. You might not be able to get as archer bows off, but if you don't time it right, or if you don't hit stop just right, or if you don't turn at the right time, your officers will run, and then everybody else will just stand there, with their thumb up their butt, and then they'll get engaged, which you don't want to happen if that's your strategy. But see, as I ran my guys right back behind my spearmen, I'm like, no, I want my spearmen to engage in melee. I want my archers to shoot bow and arrow.
Be quick.
So my Boquendi are setting up behind. Like I said before, I can shoot before they're fully set, and then their next shot, they're going to be reforming lines. Most of the time, so shooting clearly at their archers, my archers, and my infantry are fighting away. And see who I have out on the left flank there. They haven't paid any attention to him. He's able to just fire at will and just shoot it at whatever's close. The back and the side. Works out really good. And so they're
The
big
battle
bold
is
man
very much in
coming
our
up the middle
favor.
there.
Victory will be ours.
General going for the gap.
I will be your guide.
And so it looks like they're going right for the boat Wendy, trying to thread the needle there. I'm going after him. With Elrond himself and no one else. Elrond and his officers. That's no, the archers are switching to their shields. Shield down, put their bows away. And here they come. Charge. And skirmish. Look at that big, bold unit in the back. Mountain Orc Hunters. I shift my fire away. As I think I did. Both my archers away from their archers and just focus fire down their armor piercing.
Good tidings. The enemy general lies dead.
Now, Mountain Orc Hunter's true weakness, archery, and then turner and all that decent defense. Awesome attack, awesome armor piercing, but yeah, it's not too good when you're getting shot by arrows and you don't have anything to block it with shield. I'm just running my Sword Quendi, and I want to get the Sword Quendi to kind of push me. Spearmen, just let them sit. Swords are going at it. Now that they're routing, I'm going to free flow my sword line. Got a really good, massive route. Sword line. Spears are still doing good. They got one unit left fighting. Love to shoot those routers, but we're taking down the biggest threat. Mountain Orc Hunters. So we got enough of the Noldor shooting at the Mountain Orcs. I'm going to shift my fire at the boat there. Here they have left to shoot down the big, massive archers, stag archers, goblin archers. Flaming shot right to my general. I'm going to shoot back. We'll keep our Orc Hunters are pretty weakened up, so we're going to shift all our archer fire to their archer.
I serve the House of Elrond.
Stay on guard.
Spearmen are getting attacked again by looks like goblin infantry.
The enemy are badly bloodied.
Good fight.
They have
good
lost half
ambush.
their men.
Haven't really lost much. For such a really big army. I'm shifting my spearmen to the left because that's obviously a thicker flank. And they have more potential for trying to loop around the sides. Yep, and I'm doing what any good we're gonna have to do. Is backing up with our archers, which is the effect of surrounding them should drop them around pretty well. My guys were shaking, so if I caught that, I would use my special abilities, my general special abilities, which I don't think I remember to do. The reason they're shaking is because I've exposed their left flank for coming in at that kind of right angle. So they have to
I serve the House of Elrond.
notice that right away.
Swords! Close in on them!
Now I'm like, well, we're off to the races at this point. Off to the races, and this will be the last video, obviously the last battle, if you guys see the time in the video. Last battle of the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, if you have any questions about the strategy or the strategy, feel free to ask. I just do time lapses to make the material a bit easier for me.
Behold how our cowardly foe runs. It's time to
Don't
press the
remember
attack.
The thoughts I had of why I did what I did when I did.
Our homes must be press them back into the earth.
But yeah, just throw a comment in the comment section if you guys are curious about
Bows.
the strategy side of things. But the battle should be pretty self-explanatory. I've used pretty similar strategies with Randall if you watch that series. We obviously want to use the archers a lot and then just actively surround the enemy. If you can. If you can, then you want to bottle yourself up so that you can't get through. Force them down an avenue so you can't get through. And have high armor. Gosh, if you're going to force anybody down an avenue and they have missiles, shit out of luck. Alright, chasing routers, always fun. Get a little bit of money from the ransom. 90% of the time I usually execute.
Our foe is utterly
That's it,
vanquished.
28 losses.
Let
for
all
that
who
many
remember this
kills,
day
crap load of
remember it
experience
as the
gained.
day of our most glorious.
Hundreds of orcs killed. I mean, that army was really kind of the hope of the south. Orcs of the Misty Mountains. I don't really see them succeeding in the south. I know dwarves are cause of doom.
We've defeated their wretched army. Elves, we must give up the road.
And another rod. Oh, look at that. I'm already going that way. How about that? Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, I'll talk to you soon. Take it easy, guys.